Today I'm going to share with you this really beautiful silver medal made in France in 1952. It's almost 70 years old, and it's my objective when I share these things. I not only want to share something of what I think is profound beauty, the fact that you can hold a piece of artwork in the palm of your hand that was made by some of the greatest artists who've ever lived. And of course, not only their inherent potential investment value that pretty much anyone can afford if they really want it, but also, and most importantly, I want to just share some of the history, what the symbolism that's in these pieces. Nothing is by mistake. Every item, every gesture has symbolic value and meaning, all right? So I'm just going to let you look at the whole thing for a moment here, and I'll tell you a little bit about the basics. This particular piece is 88 millimeters by 63 millimeters. It's pretty large. It's 263 grams, almost 10 ounces, pretty heavy, large piece of silver. It's hallmarked on the edge. The engraver is very famous, born in 1869. He's won every prize you can: the Grand Prix of Rome, the Society of Artists in France, the Medal of Honor in 1923. He was knighted Legion of Honor in 1911. So, Charles Pillet is a significant sculptor and engraver. But I want to talk about Minerva, the character to the right, okay? Minerva is an amazing character, okay? The Minerva cult began in 2nd century BC. All right, she was a Roman goddess of wisdom, education, commerce, and strategic warfare. All right, so, of course, she was a sponsor of art and trade, and she was always usually seen as a female adult in full battle armor, kind of like the god of war Mars, but she was a goddess of battle portrayed as benevolent. All right, if there's such a thing in warfare. But as I mentioned, she was a Roman goddess of wisdom. And we're talking about like the wisdom traditions, the mystery schools where initiates, took place for the elect and elite. Minerva was often seen with the owl of Minerva, which you've all seen. It's an image often used by secret societies and orders. The third degree initiation rites of the Bavarian Illuminati were called the Minerval rites, and initiates were called Brothers of Minerva. The same title was adopted by the English occultist Aleister Crowley for his first degree initiation rites in the OTO rituals, which were used, dramatic ritual to establish fraternal bonds, to impart spiritual and philosophical teachings. The symbol is a mascot of the Bohemian Grove. It's why you see the goddess of Minerva on the seal of California. You've all seen the seal of California. That's Minerva there. You have to understand that just as people worship Jesus and Buddha, back then people worshiped Minerva as a real god. Her veneration spread and temples were built throughout the empire. Some temples still exist today, like this one in Tunisia. There's temples in Italy that are in perfect condition on the outside. The inside has been converted to Catholic churches. So there's a lot of interesting stuff here. But and then this is Mercury. I talked about Mercury in my last video. Mercury was the god of financial gain and commerce and messages, including divination for travelers. Luck, served to guide souls to the underworld, but he's often depicted as holding a caduceus, which we've all seen, and well-known symbol for medicine. But this symbol goes way back, almost 3,000 BC in Egypt. They were scepters, that were, like this particular caduceus was like given by Apollo. It was like a magic wand, and so it's kind of a symbol of accomplishments in various endeavors. But even the Queen of England has a scepter, Orbs and scepters are used during ceremonial coronations. The orb is a symbol of godly power. The scepter is a symbol of temporal power, representing dominion over this world and, of course, its resources. So these are really, see, this is the wheel of fortune right there, and he's on wings. He's basically, it'd be like Minerva's the, a king in Europe, and Mercury could be Columbus, go out and conquer and bring back goods. Just putting it, I got your back, and this is the route I want you to take. This is where you're going. This is what you're going to do. And I've empowered you, I've given you the means. These were military endeavors. They were gods of military. The opposite side is Cornucopia, abundance. These oligarchs who took initiation to conquer and, make deals and to profit their respecting companies and countries. So yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. This is another one of my favorite pieces. I was really lucky to get this about 4 or 5 years ago, and I think the artwork is really spectacular. So I hope you enjoyed it, and more to come.